So welcome to the Shopify tutorial for absolute beginners. My name is Robin and my Shopify videos here on my YouTube channel have already helped thousands. So hopefully I can help you too today. So first things first, so in this video you'll learn where to find the best Shopify deal when signing up. I will tell you which theme to choose and I've tested them all. And the best one is completely free. I'll also share tips on product images, color swatches and creating a mega menu if your store has multiple categories. And finally, I'll walk you through the Shopify editor so you can set up your store quickly and start selling fast. So you often see websites or YouTubers saying they have a special discount, but that's not entirely true. There is actually only one official Shopify offer and everyone has access to that same exact deal. So the deal is you can try Shopify for free for 3 days and then it's just $1 per month for the upcoming 3 months. And after that, you pay the regular prices depending on what tier you're choosing. And you can check that right on Shopify's own website if you like. Everyone's using this same deal. And if you haven't signed up for Shopify and if you would like to use my link, it's in the description. It gives you that same best deal and Shopify gives me a small commission for referring you. So if you do use my link, thanks for using it. All right, let's talk about the best Shopify theme. So if we take a look at all the Shopify themes, we can see that there are 24 free themes and more than 900 paid themes. But what most people don't realize is that Shopify only has 2 real free themes. And those only 2 free themes are the Dawn template, which they introduced in 2021, and the newer version Horizon, which they introduced in 2025. So what about those other free themes you can see here on their website? So the rest of the free themes you can see here on this image I created are just design variations of those 2 themes. So we got the pre-designed Dawn templates, and here you can see all the Dawn templates. So these templates are based on the Dawn template introduced in 2021. And these pre-designed templates are based on the Horizon template. So it's a bit confusing for people who are new to Shopify, since Shopify doesn't make this super obvious, but now you know. So in this video on my YouTube channel, so the best free Shopify themes I recently published, I've compared them side by side in that full video. And honestly, Horizon wins that comparison. So again, Horizon wins the comparison. So I explained that in this full video that Horizon gives you just more flexibility, more customization options, and a modern professional look. So if you want to know all the details, make sure to check out that video. I'll leave a link to this playlist in the description below. And another thing, since it's built and maintained by Shopify, it stays fast, secure, and always up to date. Obviously, that's also the case with the Dawn template. It's also maintained by Shopify, but that isn't always true for paid or third-party themes. So what about the paid theme? So we now discussed the best free theme, but there are also a lot of paid themes, as you can see. So first of all the paid themes are created by third-party companies. So Shopify themselves hasn't launched a paid theme yet. So all these paid themes you can see in the theme store are created by third-party companies. So that's the first thing you should understand. But the question obviously is, when you're building your Shopify store, when you're wondering what theme to use, should you go with a paid theme or a free theme? Which one is the best? So I actually rebuilt one of the most popular $400 themes, which is the Impulse theme. This theme has more than 1,200 reviews. If we scroll down here you can see all the reviews, which is one of the themes with the most reviews. So in other words, it's one of the more popular paid themes. So what did I do? I tried to replicate this exact design, so the $400 theme with the Horizon theme, with the free Horizon theme. And I tried to find out if I would run into any limitations basically. And the results were nearly identical. So as you can see, this is the website I created with Horizon. So it looks very similar to the $400 paid theme of impulse, as you can see. And again, I also published a YouTube video about that. It's a 22-minute video, so I'm not gonna repeat everything I've mentioned in this video, but do make sure, if you're curious about all the results, do make sure to watch this video, so the best Shopify themes free versus paid, where I share all the results of that comparison. But again, the bottom line, my suggestion is start with Horizon before spending hundreds of dollars on a paid theme. So now that we know that Horizon is the best theme, let's install it. And you can install the Horizon theme by just going to this website and click on try the theme. So that's one way of doing it, but you can also click here on online store if you logged in into your Shopify account. And then over here you can see the current theme. So currently I have the Dawn theme installed, but if we scroll down here a little bit, here you can see the popular free themes, and here you can see Horizon, and we can just simply click here on add, and it's now installing the Horizon theme into our Shopify account. So it took like 30 seconds to install. And just so you know, once you've installed a new theme, so we are currently on the Dawn theme. As you can see, the current theme of our website is the Dawn theme. But if we install a new theme, that theme isn't published yet. So our website visitors cannot see that theme yet. If we want, we can immediately publish it on the publish button, but we can also first customize it. So we're gonna click here on the customize button to customize the theme. And this screen here is where we're designing our store. But before I help you understand Shopify's editor, so this is the editor basically, before I help you understand this editor, let me give you some quick tips first for adding products, categories, and menus, so menus to your store. Let's first cover that. So we're gonna leave the editor over here by clicking on the top left button here on exit, and I'm gonna log into one of my other Shopify accounts because that one has a little bit more products added already, which helps the explanation process for this video. So if you want to add new products to your store, you're gonna click here on products. And as you can see, I already added some products, but let's say you want to add a new product, you're gonna click here on add a new product. And most of these things are pretty self-explanatory, like the title, the description. And here you can upload some images of your product. But a few things to keep in mind while uploading your product images, your product and collection images can be any size up to 5,000 by 5,000 pixels and cannot be bigger than 20 megabytes. But do keep in mind that big of an image isn't always necessary. So if you're selling simple everyday products, smaller images are fine. But for luxury or visual products, go big. It really makes a difference. So here we can see an example of a luxury product, and here you can see that they upload high quality images, so we can basically see every pixel of that image. It is very important to invest in high quality images, especially if you're selling premium products. So here is another example of a premium product, and as you can see, they upload high quality images where we can basically see every pixel of that image. And a few things to keep in mind while uploading your images. So these image formats are supported, but what does Shopify recommend using? So use JPEG images for product images, banners or slideshows, pages or blog posts, and definitely use PNG images because of that transparent background for your logos, icons, borders, and trims. And another important thing to keep in mind, Shopify automatically uses image compression for all the images you upload. So let's say if you upload a 5 megabyte image, when you view that image on your product page, it might only be 300 kilobytes. So Shopify automatically compresses that image to make sure your store site speed is optimal. So that's why it is important to focus on uploading those high resolution images. Also, when you do upload images, also make sure to add an alt text. So you can add an alt text over here, and you can also change the name of the URL of the image, which definitely can help the search engine optimization for your store a little bit. So what you can do if you want to just do it quick, you can just copy the suggestion you can see over here enter it over here. Same with the alt text, use that same description and click on save. Then you can go back clicking here on the top left corner on exit, and you do the same with the other images for every product you have. So change the name and change the alt text. So it won't suddenly rank you on the #1 spot on Google, but I promise you it wouldn't hurt either. So another important thing to keep in mind, so obviously you want to fill in the title, the description, add some nice images, and then over here we have the variants and we have the sizes. So when you add variants for your products, you'll see these options over here. But at first, if you add variants for your products, as you'll see if you do that, there are no images selected over here. So over here we have the blue variant, the pink variant, and the yellow variant. And if we go to our live website, and if you want these swatches to work, so if you hover over them and then you see the actual yellow product, the pink product, and the blue product, if you want this to work properly, you have to make sure you add an image to these color variants. So you can just click on the image and you have to select the proper color. So this, for example, is the blue color. Make sure to select that product image for that blue color. If you don't select that image, these so-called swatches will not work properly. So that's a quick tip that will save you some time when figuring out what the issue is, why these swatches aren't working for you. So once you've got your products added, now we need to organize them into these categories. So we have different categories over here. If I, for example, select the t-shirts and tees, we want to see the products related to t-shirts and tees, obviously. So to do so, we're going to go back to our Shopify dashboard and we're gonna go to collections, which works like categories inside Shopify. And here you can see all the categories or collections, as Shopify calls them, I added inside this Shopify store. And a quick tip here, while adding these collections, if you want to create a similar mega menu like I created over here in this design, you have to make sure you add an image to those parent category items, basically. So over here, if we open one of these parent category items, here you can see I added an image to this collection. So this is the outerwear collection. If we visit the live store and if we hover over the shop item here you can see the outerwear collection item, and this is the parent collection. And as you can see here, you can see that image. So again, if you want to show that image, make sure to add that in the collection item. So to add a collection, you simply click here on add collection, you give it a title, and then over here you can add your products manually or add some smart rules for adding those products. So you can add some conditions for finding the products you want to add in this collection. And when you're done adding all your collections, you're gonna go to content and then menus, and then you're gonna find your main menu over here, and then you're gonna connect those collections like I've done here. So having a nice menu structure like this makes your store easier to browse and instantly more professional, in my opinion. And then next part, if you want to enable this mega menu structure like I have in this design, we're gonna go back to our Shopify editor and we're gonna go to online store. We're gonna customize our online store. We're gonna click here on customize, and you have to select the menu items over here. So select the menu items. Then on the right hand side, we see some new options here. And here in the sub menu feature, we have the media type, and we have to make sure you select collection items. If you do, then you'll see a similar look like I have here. So now that your products, collections, and menus are set up, let's take a quick look at the Shopify website editor. So as I mentioned previously, this is where all your design changes happen. So at the top here, we have a drop down. So on default, it's on the home page. And this drop down lets you switch between pages, so like your home page, but also, for example, the product page. So this is our product page, but you can also switch to, for example, the collection page, and you can edit each one individually. So on the left-hand side over here, you'll see the page structure. So we got the header, so the header part over here, which is everything up until this point here. Then we have the main content area, which is called the template. So the first section of the main content area is this slideshow slideshow you see over here. And then lastly, at the bottom over here, if we scroll all the way to the bottom, we can see the footer. This is the footer we created. And each section can be reordered. So for example, I can just drag one of these sections and drop it to a different part of the homepage. I can also hide specific sections if I want. I can customize each section if I want to match our branding. And again, this editor is where you bring your store to life with the design. So as you can see in this example, Horizon gives you a lot of options in terms of design. But it's very normal if you're not sure where to start, because the default Horizon look looks different than what I created over here. But if that's you, don't worry, I got you covered. So this design I created, as I mentioned previously, is entirely built with the free Horizon template. So if you like this design and if you want to replicate this design for your store, what I want you to do next is to start designing the header of your website, which is this part over here. So we got the announcement bar, we got this extra header you see over here, basically the entire header. And the goal here is that your header doesn't look like the default Horizon header anymore, like what you see over here, but instead we're gonna change it to this, which looks obviously way more professional, way more clean. You can obviously use your own brand colors, of course. You can use the fonts you want to use for your brand. So as you can see over here, this is an 18-minute video I created, all for the header design with a lot of extra information, as you can see over here, with custom CSS code, prompts. You can just simply copy and paste into your own store, timestamps so you can skip around in the video for the 18-minute video to edit your header. And this 18-minute video is part of my paid Shopify design masterclass, but you can watch it for free if you go to go.learnwithrobin.com/b/Shopify. I'll also leave that link in the description. It's a little bit easier. And once you're on this page, scroll down to this part, take a look for free. Simply click on this button, free preview, which will lead you to this enrollment page where you can just sign up for free for a free account. And once you're logged in, scroll down to part 2, main website design, select header design, and this is where you can view the 18-minute video. So again, in that video, I'll show you the exact steps I took to create this header, where I went from this header to this header. So aside from adding products, collections, and designing our online store, there's more to launching your Shopify store. For example, we have to set up markets. So if we go to markets over here, if you're planning on selling to different countries, then other than your main country where you live, we have to set up some markets here. Another thing, we have the settings tab over here. And if you scroll down, we have domains. We have to connect our own domain to Shopify to get rid of that default Shopify URL. So as you can see, currently, if we visit my store here, this is the default Shopify URL, which includes the My Shopify part. We obviously do not want that. And there are some more things. So for example, we have to authenticate our sender email, etc, etc, etc. So as I mentioned previously, I created this Learn Shopify Quickly playlist, which I published for free on YouTube. And here you can find those videos. So how to authenticate Shopify email domain, how to connect domain to Shopify, Shopify Markets Explained. Another thing I did is I published the Shopify University for free. So the free Shopify University, which you can get free access to, basically organizes my YouTube tutorials into a step-by-step roadmap, complete with extra notes. So for example, if we open the Understanding Markets part, you can see there are some links, some helpful links, and some extra explanations here. And that's for every lesson inside this free Shopify University. I'll leave a link down below in the description to this page, which is the page to get free access to that Shopify University I just showed you. Just simply enter your email, click subscribe, and you'll get instant access to Shopify University. I'll also leave some good videos here on the screen for you to watch next.